friends, welcome back to the channel if you're returning or if you're new here. Hi, my name is Hannah. I do book stuff and I read a lot of weird spooky books, but that's not the case for this video today. I actually am reading two fantasy books right now that I talked about in my summer TBR, so very excited. I figured I'd take you on a couple of days of reading with my realistically busy work schedule because I know I've got some stuff going on, so that's my plan. I know I did get some footage yesterday, but I did get a chance to chat with y'all in full about the books I was reading, so I figured I'd take a little bit of time to dive into more detail. So, the first book I've got right now is Greenteeth by Molly O'Neill. This is a historical fantasy that also touches on mythology. And I think this is taking place in Britain. I don't know what time frame. I'm thinking probably somewhere between the 18th and 20th century in England. It doesn't really say. So there are these monsters called jennies, and they're like aquatic lake fairies that reside in the water. They eat raw fish and they cause havoc and create a little magic chaos. And the Jenny that we're following resides in this little village that's been taken over by this pastor who's just a monster of a man, and she rescues a young witch named Temperance, and Temperance the witch is trying to get back to her husband and two children. So they're working together to try to stop this evil pastor and to save the village and to also just create magical chaos, like I said. I did start this yesterday. I got it from the library because I put a hold on it and it was finally available. I know I was a little hesitant at first about the writing because I was worried it was a bit too slow for my taste, but I'm at the 44 page mark right now, and the plot is getting a lot better, so I'm very excited to keep going forward with this. I don't know if I'm going to have time to read more of it this afternoon because I know I do need to get chores done, but again, I am hoping to get this done this week. But I figured while I am cleaning, I will continue to listen to the other book I'm reading, so I have an audiobook as well, which is The Amalfi Curse by Sarah Penner. So this is also a historical fantasy that takes place on the Amalfi coast of Italy, and it's actually a dual timeline, which I didn't realize when I was going into it. So we have one timeline that's set in 1821 that follows a witch named Mari, and she's working with the women in her village to basically plant curses in the water to stop pirates from invading their island. And then you have the modern day timeline, which follows Haven, who's a young nautical archaeologist, and she's hoping to deep sea dive in the Amalfi Coast to look for sunken treasure and sunken ships. So I'm at probably the 10% mark of that right now. That book has also been very interesting to listen to, and I think the audiobook, no matter what platform you go on, it also comes with a PDF, which I think has the acknowledgements and maybe a couple of recipes. So I'm very excited. I looked at that earlier and it does sound really good. So I don't know if I like the audiobook narrator for Haven so far, but I am enjoying Mari's narration, and I'm enjoying what's going on with that. And I'm very curious to see where it goes and how it combines witchcraft with nautical history and all this really cool stuff. So I'm very excited to keep going with that. So it's going to be a very whimsical week. I lost my words for a second. So yeah, this week is going to be a very whimsical week of reading for me, which is very out of my comfort zone of reading because I normally tend to read the spookiest books possible or a young adult mystery or any kind of mystery. So this is a new territory of which I am very excited to explore. So yeah, that's it. That's my update for right now. I'm gonna get some chores done because my house needs to get cleaned. And then I am gonna meet up with my parents later for dinner and to go enjoy their pool. So I'm gonna get my stuff done. I'm gonna keep reading, and I'll check back in with another update when I can.
She's got new lights.
So the footage I tried to get when I got home from my folks' place was horrendous. The lighting was just awful. But basically what I kind of tried to describe in that clip was that I had a great time at my folks' place. Ended up using their pool. Really good dinner. It was a Korean barbecue style chicken, which was fantastic. Loved it. And we just ended up watching a 70s Western movie, which was okay, but it wasn't the worst thing ever. And then I could continue to try to read more of Greenteeth and Amalfi. Curse, what isn't new, but basically next day I just kept reading it for the morning until I was starting to make my plans, and it was also Memorial Day, so I apologize for the lighting and this footage being garbage as well, but we're gonna work with it.
I just need to start getting my live reactions to listening to this book. Oh no. Oh no. I've got to make this part quick because I've got my sister coming to pick me up in a few minutes. So, hi everyone, happy Memorial Day. I've been reading both Greenteeth and the Amalfi Curse this morning, so they're both getting very good. Things are picking up. So that's very interesting, and as you could tell, I was listening to the Amalfi Curse and getting shook by what was going on. So that's that, but like I said, I've got to get myself packed up because my sister's coming to pick me up because we're going to go see Lilo and Stitch in theaters, hence the Hawaii shirt. So I'm very excited. Yes, so we're going to go see Lilo and Stitch before we go and hang out with my folks again for dinner later tonight. But I'm getting very excited because while I was listening to the Amalfi Curse, like I said, there is a PDF available with the audiobook adaptation to kind of look and see at the recipes. And I looked at the author's website, and there actually is like a whole like menu available of foods to try. So the ones that really caught my eye on here were the sheet pan lemon garlic shrimp, as well as the Italian ricotta cookies, which both sound beautiful and amazing. So I'm thinking at some point this week when I next go grocery shopping that I can get some of those items so I can try those recipes out myself. Anyway, when I next go grocery shopping, I'm going to get some of these items so that way I can make these recipes myself. So that's going to be very cool. Yeah, so I've got to get myself packed up. I've got to shut my computer down, and I need to get everything together. So I'll check back in with y'all at a later point. Good morning, everybody, and happy Tuesday. So I'm about to get myself ready for work, as you can tell from the outfit, and I just want to check base with you real quick before I went off to kind of chat about yesterday. So, had a great time with Lilo and Stitch. I really enjoyed that movie. I cried a bunch of times. Little exposure right there. But yeah, it was a good movie. I actually really did enjoy it, so highly recommend going seeing it. And then I hung out with my folks yesterday for dinner, and we watched Black Rain with Michael Douglas in it. That was quite good. I think the ending was just a little bit too slow for me, but still a good movie. And then last night I listened to more of the Amalfi Coast. I listened to more of the Amalfi Curse when I got home, and I don't know, I'm kind of getting a little worried about that one because I know I was kind of losing interest late in, but I don't know if that was just because I was getting tired or if it's just because the story is slowing down or the writing's not picking up in a way that I want it to go. So fingers crossed that it was just because I was tired, and I'm going to listen to the audiobook while I'm driving off to work. So I'm going to get myself ready, but I wanted to give you an update. So that's that. I'm going to hopefully try to read more of Amalfi Curse and Greenteeth when I get home tonight, but it may be up in the air because I know I do have to go on the train tomorrow night as one of the characters, so I've got to memorize the lines for that one role. but in between I'm hoping to do more reading, so we'll see how that goes. It is much later now in the day. It's like 10 o'clock at night, as you can tell over there. And I am, whew. Okay, so I just got out of bathtub, and I know for most of the night I was listening to the audiobook of the Amalfi Curse. I keep messing up the title of that. Amalfi Curse, not Coast. Ugh. Okay, yeah, so I'm listening to Amalfi Curse, and I am very scared right now because there are parts that are getting good. I really like the past part with the 1800s following Mari's storyline, but I keep zoning out with Havens in the present. I think I'm just like not really caring as much about her. It's bad. It's bad. And I know there's parts about Mari's American sailor boyfriend, Holmes, that are also getting mentioned too. Again, I feel like I'm just listening to it as background noise now instead of actually paying attention to the story, and that's getting bad. Yeah, I've not touched Greenteeth at all today, so I'm thinking I might read a little bit tonight, or I might just listen to more of Amalfi Curse before I go to bed. But either way, I'm going to bring this book with me out tomorrow because I do have a car appointment in the morning just to go get an oil change and a tire rotation, so it shouldn't take too long. So I'm thinking I might bring Greenteeth with me and read while I'm waiting on my car to get finished up, and hopefully it doesn't take too long because I do have dinner training duties tomorrow night, so I gotta come home and get ready for that. And I'm thinking I might just listen to more of my audiobook while I'm getting ready, and then bring one of the books with me. Hi friends and family, we are back. It's Wednesday from the last time I chatted with you. Yeah, so I've got a little bit of time before I have to go off to the train to get ready for the show tonight, but I figured while I'm getting ready I can chat with y'all about the Amalfi Curse. Right, sweatshirt time. Whew. Okay, so this is kind of the makeup I did a couple weeks ago, and I'm gonna emulate that a little bit in this look. So, bam bam. Okay, so yeah, basically I'm playing this really weird character in the show who's kind of like an Irish mafia princess who's helping out the CIA to get close to the victim, and it just does not end well. But she's a Spitfire and she's Bostonian, so she is a piece of work and I love her. Yeah, so I'm starting off by using this Wet n Wild primer and finishing powder. I don't really use it as much for the finishing powder, but I do use it for the primer to start off my makeup with. And then this is the L'Oreal True Match that I've been using for my foundation for everything. Okay, so what is going on in the Amalfi Curse right now? So Mari just got away from getting kidnapped by there's like two Italian dudes. Spoiler, she kills one of these brothers that's trying to go after these Strega. So they kidnap a bunch of these girls and young women, and she's able to get away, but there's a gentleman that dies, and now they're gonna have to, I made that a lot paler than I thought. Okay, so basically she and the other Strega are now planning to curse the water to take out the ship that's for the other brother that's pursuing them. And I am a little concerned because I'm worried that Holmes, the love interest, is going to be on that ship, and she's going to realize a bit too late that she took out the wrong person. That's my one fear right now for this book, and I don't know if that's the direction that Sarah Penner is going for. It may not be, I don't know, but that is my one fear right now, is that it's gonna kill Holmes, whatever they're plotting to do. So yeah, the book is definitely getting a lot better. I'm still not sold on Haven's storyline right now, but her storyline is getting a bit better-ish. She just got with this guy named Enzo, who's offering to help go on the sea dives while the rest of her team gets cut, because there's a ship that sinks when she's there with her team, and basically she's getting kind of cut loose by her funders, and they're going to send their own team out there to do the investigating instead of just trusting her to get it done. So she's going on her own expedition to locate the treasure that her dad found when he was over there, and right before he died. So that's where it's kind of at right now. So that's my update right now. I'm literally at the 51% mark as of like noon today. So I'm figuring, well, I'm probably traveling over to the depot to board the train, and when I'm on there tonight, in between scenes, that I can keep listening to the audiobook, or I could probably just listen to it on my drive later. So that is the plan right now. Alright, I'm gonna get started on this eye makeup. Oh my god. Okay, can you tell I'm not good at multitasking? Because this is kind of getting a little bit more chaotic than I thought, but it's okay. Before I do any of that, this is the contouring I use. I don't really use it that often. It's by e.l.f. Again, I don't really use it that often, but I realized I made my foundation way too pale, so I needed to kind of contrast with that a little bit. Alright, and then this is the brow pencil I use. It's by L'Oreal. It's Brown Stylus Shape and Fill. And I don't really use a whole lot. I just do enough to kind of fill in what's already here, as you can kind of tell. Yeah, so I generally just only do like enough to kind of fill in some of the dead spots and just kind of like highlight what's already here, just so it's a little bit stronger defined. And then for this character I play, I don't really have like a particular eye set I use. I just kind of really stick with the neutrals, and then I go in with blue and really kind of like make it a lot more glitzy with some shimmery eyeshadows. But like I said, I'm going to start off with a neutral base to kind of get started. So let me see what else. Other than Amalfi Curse, which we're still going through, I have not, I'm going to be honest, I have not touched Greenteeth in a couple of days. I've been very much very busy with work and everything, so I haven't had a chance to pick up Greenteeth in a bit. So I need to jump back into that. Otherwise, I might have to DNF it. I don't know. Either I might just wind up pausing it, just because it's not that it's a bad story. It really is not. I'm just not really 100% in the mood for it right now. Like, I know it sounds weird, but I don't know what's going on. I was really excited for it when I found out that I got it at the library, and it's just kind of slowing down a lot more than I had anticipated. And I just want to have like a good paced story. And I get that some stories are meant to be slow, but I don't know, maybe it's just a writing style that I'm just not maybe 100% clicking with it, but we shall see. I am hoping for the best in that. I hope it picks up significantly, but if it doesn't, like I said, it may need to go on pause, or it might have to go into the DNF pile, which I would hate to do, but if I'm not into it, I'm not into it, and I'm not gonna feel sorry about it. I think it should be, oh, that's very good, glitzy glimmy. Ooh, yeah. Oh, that did nothing. I don't know, it kind of did something. I'm not really thrilled with it, but c'est la vie. One of the better parts I've done for this character is that I've kind of emulated a little bit of like a blue eyeliner underneath my eyes, kind of similar to what Yelena does in Thunderbolts. And I've been trying to follow that in suit for this character because her outfit's essentially kind of like this blue-purple, and I want to capture that and really highlight the colors on my face to match her wardrobe. So let me just take a second to focus and I shall show you what I mean. Okay, I just realized I'm not talking to y'all at all. I apologize severely. It's just I've got to focus on not screwing up my eyeliner. Okay, that looks somewhat kind of better. Okay. Oh lord. Yes, welcome to a chaotic get ready with me, guys. Alright, and then for my eyelashes, I've been using this Ilia mascara for it, so here we go. So I think I'm gonna call that quits for right now. I'm gonna put some setting spray and then I will deal with my lips when I get to the train, because I really do not want to have to deal with that right now. So let me just go ahead and spritz up real quick. This is the Ulta Matte Veil setting spray, so, or spraying with each one. Yeah, so that's the look for my character on the train, and like I said, I'll deal with the lips when I get on board, because I've still got a little bit of time. I got like over an hour. Well, yeah, I've got over an hour to deal with that problem, but that's that. That's my reading updates right now, and then I will keep reading when I'm on board the train tonight, and if I have any more updates, I will let you know. Okay, new outfit, new day. Hello everyone, welcome to Thursday night. Okay, so dinner train went well last night. Everyone had a great time and I was able to get to work and do my stuff today. So fantastic. No updates on Greenteeth, but I am still working my way through Amalfi Curse. So same stuff as always. Holmes is being rather choiceful and his choices. I don't even know if that's a phrase, but oh well, we're gonna go with it. But yeah, no, that's definitely getting a lot better and picking up some momentum, thank the Lord. So very excited about that, and also dealing with Haven still with her whole scenario of what's going on. And then what else? That's it. Oh yeah, and why I'm kind of dressed up nice is that I'm going out to dinner with my family to do some little sobering stuff, so very excited about that. So they're on their way to come pick me up and then we're gonna go out, but I want to give y'all an update so I wasn't ghosting you. So check back in later. Alright friends, good morning and happy Friday. I think this might be the last couple days that we do this together. I was not anticipating this turning into a week of reading and me just avoiding certain books, but it's fine. So I think I'm probably about like 6 to almost 7 hours. Like I'm somewhere at like the 6 hour mark for Amalfi Curse, and I'm hoping I can finish that up this weekend, and then I am gonna hopefully try to I'm gonna try to jump back into this book either tonight or tomorrow. And if I'm not still impressed, I'm going to DNF it because I've been avoiding it for really the past few days and I'm just not getting any progress whatsoever. Instead of just torturing myself and being like, oh yeah, I'd rather not push it. So I feel bad because this book has a lot of potential and I can see where this is cute. I'm just not in the mood for it. Like, it's so weird. Anyway, I want to try to give this one more try, and if it doesn't work, it's gonna go bye-bye. So yeah, that's my hope. And then I have my hair cut tonight at like 5, so that'll be very exciting. And I'm thinking I might just either do a trim or I might go shorter. I don't know, maybe. Yeah, I'm thinking I might go a little shorter for the sake of shaking things up. So that is my plan. But right now I need to go to work and I need to get my jobs done. and I shall check back in with y'all later tonight. Also, I forgot to mention last night at the restaurant, my mom, my sister, and I got these little roast dumplings. This is actually super cute, and I really just appreciate little gestures. So, great time last night, great food, good company, very glad I went, and my tummy is still full from it. But yes, I got this rose. So I just want to share that. All right, hello from a different time of day and a new haircut. Woohoo, yay, loving this new length. I've had this length before, my hair, I just wanted to go shorter for the summer, so I'm very excited about that. But anyway, it was a good night. I had some leftovers and enjoyed that, and I also finished the Amalfi Curse. I've got that done probably about like a few minutes ago. That I don't know how I feel about it. So I know definitely my rating for that is 3.5 stars. Like, not gonna beat around a bush there. It was 3.5 stars for me. I loved the setting of the book. I loved the premise of the historical fiction fantasy element. Loved that to bits and pieces. I loved the past timeline. But I think there were just parts of the plot that I just lost interest in. And then even towards the end, I just had a really tough time wanting to stay invested and wanting to really care. I think I just kind of tuned out most of the last hour and a half of me reading that while listening to the audiobook. So I don't know, I think I was expecting one thing to happen, basically having it all be told to you and then revealing the truth of what actually was going on. I don't know, I think to me, it kind of fell flat, which is disappointing because, again, I loved the premise of the story and I love what Sarah Penner had put out there, and I love what she's done on her website to promote this. So it's kind of a shame. But at the end of the day, I don't regret reading it. I think I just wanted more out of it, to say the least. So, there we go. That's my thoughts on Amalfi Curse. Greenteeth, I have no updates on. I literally have no updates. I'm going to try to read a chapter before I go to bed tonight. I'm going to see how it goes. I know I keep saying it, but I think tomorrow's going to be kind of like my ultimatum with that book of, do I continue reading it or do I just say screw it and put it on the chopping block, because yeah. Okay, so anyway, I'm gonna start getting myself ready for bed. I'm gonna hopefully do something, update my Notion probably with some Amalfi Curse stuff, and we'll go from there.